Welcome to the Master Lock Training video. This video is designed to help assist you with keeping a well-organized system when changing locker combos for your school. And because you may be facing thousands of lockers, it's important to have an organized system in place so that you can quickly and effectively change all of the combos in the shortest amount of time. The locks that will be covered in this video are the MasterLock 1630 series. However, the training in this video is applicable in many other versions of locks that utilize the built-in combination feature. Before you begin, it's important you collect a few things. The first item you will need is the combination book. This is your master list of all working combos in use and should be your only book. If you find that you have multiple binders, it is suggested that you reduce the amount to 1 or 2 at the most, otherwise you will have to update every one each time you make a change in locks. You will also need a few empty folders to store your replacement lock combo lists. Be sure to label the outside with a range of serial numbers so that it's easier to locate a serial number should you need to refer back to a lock combination set in the future. You will also need some whiteout and post-it notes. The post-it notes will come in handy when you need to leave yourself some quick notes such as where you left off. Next, you should have a notepad and paper so you can make important notes that you might forget about later. If you are handling a large amount of locks, it's always a good idea to have a pair of work gloves. You will also need a can of cleaner and lubrication, plus a rag to clean up messes. A can of Tri-Flow brand cleaner works best when handling small parts such as locks and keyholes. You should also be equipped with a toolbox and various tools you may need to work on locks and for locker repair. You may also want to carry around a few spare locker parts. New locks come with a package of mounting nuts that can be used to secure the lock to the locker. It is suggested that you carry a few spare. In most cases, you should equip yourself with a wrench or socket driver to fit both the old size and the new size mounting nut. When working with a large amount of locks, you should make sure you have at least one case of spare locks. When you first receive your case, be sure to check the model number, key number, and serial numbers listed on the box and compare them to your new combo list that is typically sent to you separately. Inside the box, you will find 2 trays of 25 locks. Once you determine the direction the order of serial numbers is going on the tray, be sure to make a notation on the tray in order to help prevent pulling locks out of order. You will also need a spare locker key that you can use to open the lockers and change the locks to the next wave of combinations. Finally, to help make the entire process easier for lower lockers, you should also consider using either a rolling shop seat or a set of knee pads to help prevent unnecessary strain on yourself. To recap, take note of these supplies you will need before you get started. You will first need a rolling cart that is set at a comfortable standing level to use as your mobile workstation. You will also need a binder of currently used combinations, a few folders labeled with the list of new combinations, a notepad and pen, whiteout and post-its, at least one box of spare master locks, a locker key, lubricant cleaner and a rag, a supply of mounting nuts, a toolbox with tools and spare locker parts, a box for old locks and trash, and a rolling seat or knee pads to prevent unnecessary strain on yourself when working with bottom lockers. Now that you have all the necessary equipment, it's time to learn how to change the locks. Getting comfortable with the feel of changing a lock will help you get through a larger amount of locks in a shorter amount of time. The MasterLock number 1630 will come with the ability to change the lock to 5 different combinations. Changing the lock is quick and easy and begins with inserting the key into the combination lock. Next, set the dial to 0 and turn the key clockwise 90 degrees. Located on the back of the lock, you will find a button that you can now push easily. Hold down the button in the back and turn the dial clockwise until you reach just past 48. You may then release the button and continue turning it until you can feel or hear an audible click. At this point, you should stop turning the dial and the combo has now been changed to the next combo. Return the key to its upright position and remove it. If you wish to change the combo again, you may spin the dial clockwise back to 0 and repeat the process as many times as you wish. When you look at your combo book, you will notice that there are at least 5 combos listed per lock. The master locks you are using are designed for you to be able to switch combos every year so you can easily reuse them year after year without jeopardizing the security of the lockers. When you start, the thought of changing every combination and then returning to test every locker to make sure the combo is set to the right wave may seem overwhelming. However, provided the combos are all kept on the same wave of combos and they are well maintained, you should be able to complete each locker in a total of 20 to 30 seconds. Incidentally, when faced with a combo that doesn't appear to be on the right wave of combos, there is a simple trick to help you count and locate what combo you are on. Simply change the combo on the lock and determine where the dial is when you hear the click. Generally speaking, you will notice that combination 1 will click around the 20 to 25 range on the combo dial. The remaining combinations will click around the 35 to 45 range on the combo dial. In order to determine the wave of combos you are on, continue to change the combo until your dial clicks around the 20 to 25 range. Once you hear the click, you now know that you are on combo 1. From there, continue to change the combo and simply count the number of clicks to determine which combo wave you are on. Using this simple trick will speed up your process and eliminate much of the frustrations you may encounter when handling large amounts of locks. Under normal circumstances, the combo lock should be easy to change. However, as the lock ages, movable parts will begin to wear and dirt will prevent the lock from either turning easily or from being able to easily switch over to the next combo, either because it won't click over properly or maybe the key won't even turn. Before you decide to just throw out the lock and replace it with a new one, you should make all attempts possible in cleaning it first. Chances are, dirt inside or the need for lubrication is all that is needed for the combo lock to function properly. To begin, first spray cleaner in between the dial and lock housing. Give it a few spins back and forth to work the lubrication inside. Further the cleaning process by spraying a stream directly inside the keyhole and use the key to work the lubrication in by turning it multiple times. Jiggle the key slightly if you are finding the key is getting stuck. Wipe the dial clean with your cloth. And repeat the process as necessary. In the case you have an extremely grungy lock, you may need to do a more thorough clean. After removing the lock from the locker door, remove the front half and spray inside the center of the main lock housing. On the dial, spray the back of the dial and spin it several times to work in the cleaner and allow it to lubricate. Return the dial to the main lock housing and spray in between the dial and metal frame as well as the keyhole. Insert the key and turn both the dial and key several times. On the side, spray inside the latch. Then, after turning the key clockwise 90 degrees, manually flip the latch multiple times. You may also spray the button if it is sticking or not pushing in easily. Just remember to set the dial to 0 and then turn the key in order to allow the button to push in all the way. Once completed with the cleaning process, return the lock to the locker door and continue on with the changing of your combos. When you have finally determined that it is time to replace the lock, then it is best practice to change out the lock in the most organized manner to allow yourself or others in the future to locate and change any errors that might be discovered in the future. This is one reason why it is vitally important to limit the amount of combo books you have so that you do not waste time and have to make changes to every book. To begin, you will want to locate your folder that has the proper serial numbers listed for the new locks you have. Keeping this list will help allow you to easily reference back if you make a mistake in your records and don't realize it until later. These combos should be the list that represents your tray of locks that you have, which are kept in order by serial number. When pulling a lock, be sure to pull the next lock listed on your combo sheet and then compare the serial numbers to ensure you have pulled the right one. Check the number of the locker you are replacing the lock at and write it down on your combo sheet before proceeding. To remove the lock, first undo the old mounting nuts located on both the top and bottom of the lock. Then remove the old lock from the locker door. Replace the old lock with the new lock and apply new mounting nuts to the back of the lock, being sure to tighten them so they are not easy to remove. Next, using your key, change the combo to the wave of combos that you are currently setting all of your other locks to for that year. Finally, be sure to then update your combo book. Using whiteout, be certain to replace both the serial number and all combos for that lock. Lastly, throw away the old lock as there is no need to keep it any further. Here are a few troubleshooting tips you should try before deciding that your lock needs to be replaced. Tip 1. If your lock only seems to click around the number 5 to 10 range, is sporadic in the location of the dial where it clicks, or just won't click at all, try giving it a quick clean around the dial and keyhole, then try again. Tip 2. If your key does not turn easily or acts as if you have the wrong key, then you may have a large amount of dirt in the cylinder. Remove the key and spray inside the keyhole. Work the key back and forth while jiggling it until it starts to turn. Repeat the process until the key turns freely. Tip 3. When turning the dial, you hear and feel an excessive amount of grinding from the lock as if the bearings are going out. First, check to see there isn't any intrusion keeping the lock from being in its closed position. If that doesn't work, then try giving the lock a complete clean before deciding to throw out the lock. Tip 4. If you have a large amount of locks to work on, it is important to keep organized so that you or anyone else in the future can follow what you have done. If you are unable to do it by yourself due to time restraints, it is also important to minimize the amount of people working on locks to a small few who are all trained to do it the same way. This will help control the organization and flow of your work. Tip 5. Whenever possible, be sure to assign someone else the duties of meeting and greeting visitors to help prevent you from continuously being interrupted. Tip 6. If you plan on being away from your cart for an extended period of time, be sure to lock up your combos and key in a secure area before leaving to prevent unwanted persons from having access to them. With this information, you should now feel more comfortable in handling a large amount of locks in a shorter amount of time with less frustration. Good luck!